Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us once again. Today we are looking at the Storm Ion Pro. If you like what we do, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out on Patreon. First impressions, I was honestly surprised by how much I enjoyed throwing this ball. Okay, let's jump in. The Ion Pro uses a new core called the Element AI. It's a lower RG, lower diff, low mass bias. Storm put it in a TX16 hybrid. The TS16 solid, if you remember, is what's used on the Phase 2. And this feels more familiar to that than the Summit balls, for example, which have a version of that TX called the TX23, which is essentially in kind of an uprevved version. In other words, I personally prefer the OG formula. I like the way it responds to friction more. Anyway, the idea here is to introduce a benchmark type of ball that has versatility with cover stock finishes and layouts. I'd seen a couple of early videos from Storm, and to me, it kind of looked a little hook set, which made me somewhat nervous. I like my benchmarks to be a little rounder. I can immediately forget all the preconceptions I saw once I personally threw it. It legitimately feels like a proper benchmark ball for me. We'll get into what that means. I mean, I tend to slot my benchmark in the mid control slot in the bag, and that's where the Ion Pro is to me. Some call their benchmark whatever is the most versatile, wherever it fits in the bag, which is fair, but that tends to be somewhere in the middle anyway, where you can go a bit up or down based on conditions. The Ion Pro looked fabulous anywhere from the second to fourth hour for me, and truth be told, I still have a Phase 2 in the bag, which is a strong control. It's so close to benchmark, but I find it a touch strong at times for that. And the Ion Pro really looks like a great complement to it, with a bit cleaner look. In other words, longer and a nice rounded move that feels like just the right step down. I've struggled to find the right ball that wasn't a huge step down from the Phase 2, and then this really reminds me of a, the classic Storm shape when R2S was the prominent cover and high roads were all the rage. Clean, but doesn't feel like it's going to blow through the spot. An angular, but rounded and boomy look that just kind of builds up. I've been struggling to find that with some of the latest balls from all the brands, but I think this one hit it. In most recent tests, the house shot just hasn't complemented a whole lot of balls, but the Ion Pro was a great matchup. Just the right length and just the right back end. Nice Goldilocks spot, which bodes well for a benchmark. For Tyler, I'll just throw in a few teaser shots as I'll come back with a part two with both he and Brian testing. But this can give you a quick idea of the shape for him. It was a bit more ball for him, and it sort of borders on mid control and mid defined, but we'll get more time with it in the next video. So the final thoughts from me is the Storm Ion Pro is a bit of a surprise hit. I find it to be a very usable and versatile mid-range benchmark ball. With my rev rate, sometimes lesser cores don't hit as well, but I had zero issues with this ball. The initial impression is that this has a good chance to fill that tough to fill mid-control slot for me personally.